Here's my spin on dressing for success in wrestling. If your athlete, whether they're in high school or youth wrestling, if they walk out into a tournament and they're looking sloppy, their clothes don't match, they're not going to wrestle as well. And this is the reason a lot of salesmen are taught, get a very nice car. And I'll tell you, if I was going to sell my house, my gym, my business, and a salesman or a broker drove up in a 7-year-old minivan, oh dang it, that, or DVD duplicator's going, I don't think it should bother. I'd probably be like, no, I'm not gonna hire you, right? But if they drove up in a, $70,000 SUV, they look successful. It's just the appearance. We're not supposed to judge people by the way they look, but we all do it, right? And I tell my kids, I'm like, you know what? I mean, we have nice stuff, right? There we go. Sublimated on the back. There's like logos on the side. And this stuff's not cheap. An extra $9, you can look amazing. You could get an old piece of crap Walmart shirt with some sticker pressed on it and say, here's our team uniform, but that's not doing anybody very much good. When I was at Oklahoma State years ago, they held up our uniform and they said a couple of things. Number one, when you wear the Oklahoma State uniform, they told us how to dress. We're not going to look sloppy. Back then everyone tucked their shirt and we would be tucked in, all right? Your collar is either down or it's up because it says Cowboys on the back, right? You don't want to walk out there in a t-shirt you got from camp that says some high school logo on it. Everything's OSU. Even if you want to wear Oklahoma State socks, do it. We're not going to wear shoelaces that are one's yellow, one's black. No, we're going to look nice. They said we want to look, because it's like a dress for success philosophy, right? They're really expensive private schools do it. The military does it. There's a reason. We can fight it if you want, but if you look good, you're going to feel good. And then if you feel good, you're going to carry yourself confidently. And that's going to project out there to others who are judging you based upon your body language and how you walk, how you talk, how you look. And plus, when you have a little, they're called swag nowadays, right? I'm almost 50. So Jordan Burroughs had an article written about dressing for success or something. He called it swag. And that it all comes down to everything's the same. Now, I tell my kids also that what Oklahoma State, they told us was this. Dress nicely, all right, be tucked in, all that. Also, they said when you wear an Oklahoma State uniform or a singlet, it is worth 2 points a match, right? Because your opponents are going to be a little bit apprehensive, maybe even scared. You go into a lobby of a hotel, people are going to stare at you because, back then it was just Oklahoma State and Iowa. That was it. And they said, now we have Penn State, Ohio State. There's more parity, but there was about a 15, 20-year time span where there was only 2 teams in America that even fought for the titles for the most part. And they said this singlet is worth 2 points a match. Unless we're wrestling Iowa at Iowa, then it's going to cost you about 4 points. That was kind of a joke. Probably a little bit of truth to that, and I'm sure that, the homeschool advantage, when Iowa was at OSU, I'm sure it worked opposite. But I do think, and I tell our kids, I go, you're in a great club, you're in a great academy. We've been around for 20 years, We've had over 3,000 state medalists. Last year at the NCAA tournament, there was like 18 athletes on the NCAA mats that came through our program. At one point in time, Mizzou, they were top 5 in the nation that year, maybe 3rd. 10 guys in a weight class. 5 starters were Purler Wrestling Academy kids. The assistant coach at Mizzou is Purler Wrestling. And we've been around a long time. There's some prestige there, right? I'm not bragging. I'm just saying there is, just like if you wrestle at Blair Academy or whatever, or you're on a premier high school program or a premier college program. I tell my kids, I'm like, why would you send your kid to a tournament wearing a Mountain Dew t-shirt and a brown pair of basketball shorts down to his knees, hair all messed up, right? And I'm talking mostly middle school and youth, because the high school coaches make their kids wear uniforms and look nice, all right? So I'm mostly referring back to the middle school and youth kid. You know, a red Gatorade mustache. No. Comb your hair, brush your teeth. No Gatorade red mustache. No Mountain Dew t-shirt. Get your kids looking nice, right? Get them a pair of shoes that fit. You know, sure, they'll grow into a size 7, but if they're a size 4, get them a size 4. Get them a 4.5. Kids don't need to have shoes out there that are that big. They look sloppy. They can't wrestle, right? I would spend some time making sure that my kids go to a tournament in a wrestling apparel, a pair of wrestling shorts. Buy 1 or 2 pair, couple of wrestling shirts, whatever team you are, right? Maybe if you go to a camp, there's a cool camp shirt, as long as it's nice, not all ripped up. Maybe you can wear the camp shirt, right? Wear a hoodie or a sweatshirt for warm-ups. It might say Asics Wrestling. It might say, you know, Oklahoma State Wrestling, or your team logo, or Under Armour Wrestling. I would definitely make sure that when they go to a tournament and the kid walks in, you know, he's got a nice sublimated quarter zip, you know, and he's got his headgear strapped to a singlet, and he's matching. He's not wearing basketball shorts down to his ankles. The kid's athletic looking. He looks put together. And so there is no doubt that that's going to help your wrestling. And I've wrestled at a famous college. It was emphasized. It's emphasized by the military. It's emphasized by the prep schools and the schools. It's emphasized. You know, you emphasize it to people you work with, right? We want to dress successfully and carry yourself well. Well, sometimes as a mom and dad of a youth wrestler, you know, kids don't know these things. Like, oh, throw some clothes on. It's just wrestling. Make sure they're old clothes because you might lose them. Well, I get all that. Money doesn't grow on trees. But trying to find some old clothes, and they're going to outgrow them anyway, right? Why not dress them up so they look like a stud, right? Even if they're not a stud. If they walk around the tournament and they look like a stud and they're put together and they have the apparel, right? And that sort of the outfit, it's going to do wonders for how they wrestle, because their opponents are going to notice it, because we get judged based upon appearance, right? Something like 75% of all communication is nonverbal, right? Encourage them to carry themselves with their chin up, shoulders back. My dad used to say, don't walk around the gym like a whipping boy. Don't let now it's okay to get beat, but don't let anybody beat you up, and don't let anybody turn you into a slouched over, whimpering mess. You walk off the mat with your chest up. In fact, I know I had a couple of twins. They both lost in the state finals their freshman year, the Lester twins, and one of them was an All-American at OU, and they're out working now, you know, and starting their lives. They national champs in high school, state champs a couple of times. After they lost, a famous coach at one of the top 2 or 3 wrestling programs in America contacted their coach. They were young. They couldn't contact the kids directly. But they said, we have our eyes on those guys. You know why? And it's like, well, because they're really good, right? They made the state finals as freshmen. They go, yeah, but a lot of kids do that. They both lost, and they didn't sprint off the mat like an embarrassed fool, grabbing their backpack, sprinting off into the tunnel, right? You even see college guys do that. It's just probably not good. They said they walked across the gym from one end all the way to the long rectangular side of their gym, and they were not hiding. They were not in a hurry. They were not embarrassed to lose. They carried themselves so well that we definitely have these guys on our radar. So encourage your kids to look successful even when they lose. All of these things matter. And if you come to any of the PurlerWrestling.com camps or clinics or anything, you know, these are things, the little talking points that we bring up. Everybody wants to do moves, but so much of it, I've seen kids that you know the moves, but you're just sloppy and you don't have the body language, and you know, you don't have the tactics down for successful wrestling, right? And so these is all parts of the puzzle. And so how you dress and how you look and how you act and how you walk into the gym You know, these are all things. One last thing on a different topic. You know, as a youth kid, they should not sit in the bullpen talking to their opponent about how long they've wrestled, right? They shouldn't worry about trying to warm up to their opponent. They shouldn't no more stare at their opponent or ignore them. Just look through, right? And I encourage my coaches and my parents too. When you're at a wrestling tournament and you're coaching match side, you don't look at the other corner. Now, if your athlete gets hurt or there's a call or something, you know, or their athlete gets hurt, certainly. But you know, we don't want to engage eye contact with our opposition on the other corner, because sometimes, especially after a big takedown, your guy gets a takedown, you stare at the other. That just looks foolish. It makes you look weak, right? And it's confrontational. So I always shake my opponent's kid's hand, my wrestler's opponent's hand, and say, great job, whether they won, lost, I don't care, stay out of it, you know, and we walk off the mat. If there was some interaction with the coach that was positive, you know, I'll say good luck to you guys. But during the match, you don't want to be staring at the competition or the opposition, because, you know, it's usually either in a scared manner or it's in a confrontational manner. So when your kids are at a tournament and they're standing in weigh-ins, they should stand up and look through everybody, except for maybe their teammates or their coach. You watch the elite colleges, when they walk into a gym, they're looking through everybody. They're not making eye contact with all the other athletes that are lined up at the scale, you know, or at the bullpen. And we're not asking them, how long have you wrestled? How big are your biceps? I mean, some of this stuff is crazy you hear these kids talk about. And they're kids, right? So who cares? It doesn't really matter. But the thing is it does matter. And if you will at least coach them through some of the importance of some of these auxiliary type concepts, I think your athletes are going to win a lot more matches. And, you know, certainly dressing for success is part of that. So good luck. Share this with your athletes, especially the middle school and youth kids, because they're the ones that seem to be suffering sometimes and looking sloppy. And I think you're going to see a nice improvement, even if it's just a 5% improvement in the way they wrestle and compete. That's going to be substantial. So good luck to everyone. You can check us out at purlerwrestling.com. You can hit the thumbs up, click the bell to be alerted when we put more videos up. I've got hundreds of technique videos coming in the works. So good luck.